Hi guys, it's Erin and John from Evolve Personal Training. So our first question is, what exercise can I do to help get rid of this area, so like muffin top? So this is kind of one that we get all the time. And it's always going to be the same answer: diet, diet, diet. So your nutrition is going to be your number one way to reduce any type of body fat. You can't spot reduce body fat, meaning I can't do a bunch of bicep curls and lose fat off my arms, or tricep extensions and lose this under your arms. So you're going to have to be in a calorie deficit. So whatever amount of calories you're eating right now, if you're maintaining your weight, you're going to have to be a little bit lower than that to see any kind of body fat loss. So once you do that, you can't choose where you're going to lose the fat either. So it's going to lose fat from all over your body. Everybody is different. So number one way to lose any kind of belly fat or hip fat would be to be in a calorie deficit or be on a diet. And of course there's exercises that you can do to kind of tighten that area. So once you do lose that amount of fat, and you will have more visibility if you're leaner, then that's when you can kind of target your core and your abs by doing things like leg raises. If you guys check out our previous video, John shows some really great core exercises that you can do to target that area. And I think the next question kind of goes into that. How do get my abs to show more? I'm doing ab exercises 3 to 5 times a week, but I don't see a difference. So 3 to 5 is quite a bit, especially if you're doing, multiple ab exercises each session. So once again, you have to be lean enough to see your abs. It's going to be harder for women because we carry an extra layer of fat anyway because of childbearing. So once you're lean enough, then to be able to see your abs, you could use weighted exercises to really build that muscle. If you're looking for just more of a toned, tight look, then you could do body weight. That would be just fine. Everyone wants to work their core, even if they're not looking to get abs, because core is a great stabilizer and it's going to help with your posture and overall back health.
Doing those additional ab exercises will build like the size and the shape of the abdominal area or the muscles, and also kind of tighten up your waist a little bit because they're getting worked regularly, so they'll be firmer. But like what Erin said, to be able to see them, that's going to have to come from diet and exercise as well.
Abs are made in the kitchen.
Bingo.
That is not a cliche, that is the truth.
That's the truth.
But even when you are dieting, you're going to want to still weight lift, because you're going to want, like he said, the shape and the tightening and the toning.
Bingo.
So.
Okay. Is it better to do cardio before or after working out? Working out meaning like resistance training, weightlifting. That one's going to be dependent on what your goals are. So if you are a runner or an endurance athlete, you'd want to do your cardio training first while you're strongest, build that endurance up, and then move on to your weight training, because that's your secondary motive. But whatever your primary motive is, that's what you start with. For the average person who is like lifting weights and doing like cardio to help burn fat and also get cardiovascular exercise, do the weight training first while you're strongest, so that you can stimulate your muscles, tear them down as much as possible, while you're at your strongest. And then after you've done that, you've kind of used up your muscles use stored energy to contract while you're working out, like carbohydrates. So when you're doing that and working out your muscles, you're emptying yourself of that stored energy. So by the time you get to cardio, you're more apt to you're kind of like running on E, so to speak, and you're more apt to burn more fat than anything else. So cardio after weight training if your goal is fat loss. Cardio before weight training if your goal is for like an endurance athlete, runner, and whatnot. All right?
Yeah, and you can even, if you're super, super serious about it, you could even split up your sessions and say do your weight training in the morning and then cardio in the evening if you're really worried about like burning up your muscle, because that might happen too. You might, not build as much muscle if you are doing a ton of cardio after you weight train. So an option is to split that up if you do have that extra time.
What is the best way to lose fat? That's a multi-pronged answer there. The best way to lose fat is to find a balance of diet, so calorie restriction, weight training to build that muscle, to maintain that muscle. Muscle burns more calories every day just doing nothing than fat does. Fat hardly takes anything to maintain, whereas muscle takes calories, energy, every day to maintain. So you want to keep your metabolism going fast by building that muscle. Also, doing so makes you burn a higher percentage of fat because your body is, in your weight training, is holding on to that muscle. And so because you, in order to meet the demands, and so when you burn excess calories, more of that's going to be fat. And then cardiovascular exercise is something you can do multiple times throughout the week or after your weight training session to help burn those extra calories and hopefully target fat burning. Yeah. So the best way is combining all three and not just picking one, not just going at it on one
like you said, something that you can stay consistent with, because consistency is the only way that you're going to actually lose weight. And if you're consistently in a deficit and you're able to maintain that and not go in reverse and constantly, bounce back and forth or yo-yo diet. I want to lift weights and get stronger, but I don't want to get too big, so should I use lightweight and high reps?
My favorite part is I don't want to get too big. It's taken me 22 years to get this to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight, so don't let that deter you from working hard with training with weights and strength. It's going to be a slow process. And then once you get to the point where you're satisfied, then you can just maintain. But don't let that hinder you from, if you want to get strong, from lifting lighter weights for higher repetitions because you're afraid you're going to bulk up. Especially with women too. Women don't have the necessary hormones, aka testosterone, to be able to be big and bulky like men. Male bodybuilders that you see, they're making that their life's dedication, where they're training extremely hard, eating a tremendous amount of protein and calories, and going on bulking phases and really extreme measures to do so. The 99% of women are not going to get big and bulky from strength training. It's just going to add muscle to you, give you better shape, give you a faster metabolism, and let you feel stronger. And I found training clients like a 10 to 16 repetition range works really well for both men and women as far as building strength as well as muscle size, but without getting too big and bulky, let's say, with like powerlifting. But again, to reiterate, it's really hard.
Even if you have the best program in the world, it's still going to be really hard for you to get there. And eating enough. So like we said, to lose body fat, you have to be in a restriction. To gain any sort of muscle or body fat, you're going to have to be in a surplus. So if you're overeating, you are going to get bulky, and it's probably going to be most likely fat and not muscle anyway if you're not training that hard. So watch your calories, you won't get too bulky, and just stay consistent with your weight training. And it's not going to happen overnight, so if you notice that you are gaining too much muscle in your arms and you see that shape and you don't really want it, just kind of maybe cut back on that training, that muscle group for a little bit until you see the size or the shape that you're looking for.
I'm working out with the weights every day, and I'm actually losing muscle or getting weaker. Am I not lifting heavy enough? What am I doing wrong? I've encountered this a few times. When you lift weights or do resistance training of any kind, you break down your muscle tissue. You're injuring them, basically causing microscopic tears. That's why you feel soreness, you feel fatigue afterwards. It's a process then to repair, rebuild, and then get stronger. That takes time. So if you're constantly working the same muscle group out over and over without allowing enough time in between to rest and for that process to take place, then it's just like picking a scab over and over and over. The wound is never going to heal. You're not doing yourself any good. So you don't want to be, more is not necessarily better. You have to have that balance of stimulating your muscle in the way you want in order for the results that you want to get, and then allowing enough time for it to recover before you repeat the process again. So you can overdo it. More time in the gym does not necessarily mean more results. It's about working smarter and harder in the gym, making the most out of your time, putting in the most effort you can in the time that you do spend. You don't need to spend hours and hours in the gym to do so.
Rest and recovery is just as important as actually the workout is. So.
Yep, you don't grow in the gym, you grow when you're resting.
Resting and eating.
And eating. Yes, you gotta get that enough protein and carbohydrates in there.
What is better for a man or woman in their 60s, machines or free weights? So in general, machine weights, they're great for beginners. So if you're not really familiar with proper form or technique, you maybe want to start with the machines or circuit training machines. It has descriptions on how to do everything. You don't have to worry about picking up the weights and taking them places and finding a place to lift. You can just use the weight stack. So it's great for, I would say, older populations and beginners. And it's a great way to start with strength. So if your primary goal is strength and not necessarily like stabilizing, then that would be a great way to start. And then free weights are going to be great and almost more preferable between the two. So once you build yourself up to be able to do free weights, then you're going to be working more stabilizer muscles. You're going to be getting a little bit different range of motion, and you can just do a ton more with free weights. You'll have a lot more exercise options.
Yep, perfect. Machines help you get used to that stress of the weight on your muscles and tendons and ligaments and all that, without having to worry about stabilizing. It's nice and safer, but you want to work over to a majority of free weights, like she said, to get those stabilizer muscles, to mimic like actual, real life scenarios of dropping down and picking up a heavy box or picking something up over your
more
head.
functional.
Yes, where it's not just a straight set motion
line,
like a machine is. Right. So it's more dynamic exercise and free weights for overall strength. But you got to be careful with that. Start slow, start light, make sure the form is perfect. Always great. I definitely recommend people in their 60s or so to hire a personal trainer, at least for a little bit, to introduce them slowly into the free weights, and then develop their capabilities so that they're getting the most out of their time.
Just so you don't injure yourself too.
Yes.
You want to have that technique down. I'm a woman. I do cardio 3 days a week, but here I need to lift weights. If I want to lose weight, why don't I just do a lot of cardio? So this kind of ties into everything that we talked about. So the main goal of cardio is going to be to burn calories or put you in a deficit. It's also great for heart health, so we're not saying don't do it unless you just want to burn calories. Everyone should be doing a little bit of cardio. But weightlifting is going to help you build muscle. So if you want to lose weight or you want to lose fat, you should have a combination of the both. So weight training is going to, like he said, it's going to help you build muscle. It's going to help build up your metabolism, which in turn is going to help you burn extra calories throughout the day, even out at rest. And then adding in that cardio is going to help you be in a little more of a deficit. It's going to make you just feel better overall. It's going to help with circulation. And so just doing cardio is not going to necessarily give you the results, because you will after a while stall and it's not going to be enough. You're going to have to add more and more and more. And who wants to be on a treadmill for 3 hours a day?
Right.
I know I do not. So we'd recommend, maybe doing 30-minute weight session, and then you could do even 30 minutes of cardio. So breaking that up and slowly adding to your cardio to see more weight loss results or decreasing your calories.
Like what Erin mentioned about when she said, losing weight and then losing fat. That's what you want to focus on. It's not so much losing weight, but what kind of weight you're losing. So losing body fat, your body composition is what you want to pay attention to. So more muscle, less fat. And in order to do that, like she said,
weight training.
A combination of weight training to build that muscle and to spare that muscle too while you're doing the cardio. Also to burn extra calories and just get that mixture of both. Is much better.
Cardio is not made for preserving muscle.
No, it's not.
So it's going to just take whatever it can to help you get through that cardio high intensity or low intensity. So it's important to maintain the muscle that you have, very closely. Try to keep it
Yep.
as long as you can and build upon that muscle in order to see the type of results that you're looking for.
Yep. Your body adapts to whatever stresses you're putting on it. And if you're just doing cardio, your body is going to adapt to that by becoming a more efficient cardio machine,
Mhm.
which means less muscle so that you can run longer and longer, because muscle requires more oxygen to maintain. Likewise, if you're just doing weight training, you're going to respond by getting the muscles larger. So if you want to combine the two and get the most out of the fat loss, that's how you do it. Combine the two, do the cardio, do the strength training, and make sure you're in calorie deficit. And boom, you're
Yeah.
golden.
Yeah, those are definitely the key takeaways today is to lose weight, a deficit, so created by diet or doing cardio, and then maintaining muscle mass, which will be weightlifting. As a woman or a man, you are going to want to weight train, but always make sure you're getting in enough rest and recovery. Well, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you have any questions that you would like us to answer, we would love to answer them. Drop them down below in the comment section, and we will make another video just like this. And
Like you make this like a regular thing, so
yeah,
send us questions your way and we'll do our best to answer.
have a great day, guys.
Thanks, guys.